company announces at this moment, if you choose to, you may remove your mask.
Many thought they'd never hear that. We'll bring our panelists in for a reaction here. I know everyone has a reaction with this, and on both sides of it, by the way. Cheers and fears. Turning Point USA contributor and host of The Spillover, that is Alex Clark joining us. We also have a journalist for Free Beacon, Matthew Foldi, and senior contributor at The Federalist and fellow at the Claremont Institute, Ben Weingarten. Good to see everyone here. We appreciate your time. Alex, I'll start with you on this, if I can. Just overall reaction to this, to the main airlines coming out. The federal court made its ruling, and then you saw Delta, United, Southwest, Uber, Amtrak, and so on, lifting the mask mandate.
We are, a year and a half, I would say, overdue on this, but it is so exciting, especially for me as somebody who travels constantly. I've got to travel at the end of this week, and I am so excited to just be able to breathe freely. The air on airplanes is the most purest anywhere. That is the safest place to be breathing in air without a mask. So it's long overdue. And I also am happy for the airline employees as well, that they don't have to endure that on long work shifts in the air wearing a mask.
Absolutely. We had a flight attendant who was on the program earlier just saying she was so relieved she didn't have to be the person who was telling people to pull up their mask over their nose. You just try to make sure people are safe from one destination to the other. Of course, the White House was asked about this decision coming in from the federal judge, and Jen Psaki responded. Let's listen to what she had to say.
So this is obviously a disappointing decision. The CDC continues recommending wearing a mask in public transit. As you know, this just came out this afternoon. So right now, the Department of Homeland Security, who would be implementing, and the CDC are reviewing the decision. And of course, the Department of Justice would make any determinations about litigation.
And Ben, we haven't heard about any additional litigation or an official response there from the DOJ, but just your overall thoughts on where the White House stands on the matter.
Well, I think that the White House has been trying to sort of triangulate, I guess, between some kind of return to normalcy, knowing that the American people overwhelmingly reject their draconian COVID agenda, and on the other hand, not wanting to relinquish power, which we've seen as they've continued to, in a piecemeal fashion, extend some of these restrictions, like their mask mandate. I'm happy, obviously, the mandate is done. It is multiple years overdue. The fact that my toddler is going to be on a plane today and will not be subjected to an asinine measure which does nothing to protect him or those around him, I think is a great thing. But all that said, it's also a sad commentary that it took a single federal judge in Florida almost 2 years in to impact this policy. And the last question that I have for Democrats, including the Biden administration, is this the thing that is going to get you to reject nationwide injunctions? Because Democrats have loved using nationwide injunctions to impose their policies on Americans. But now the shoe's on the other foot, and I wonder what that's going to mean going forward.
I'll move to Matthew Foldi, and really the comment that Ben was making about a toddler. Margaret Brennan, one of the cable news hosts, actually tweeted this out, so we can show you both sides of it. Now, she says this: my unvaccinated 3-year is a champ when it comes to keeping his KN94 on, parentheses, N95s don't fit him, because they don't make them for children, by the way. But my almost 1-year-old hasn't been on public transport to date and likely won't be able to until there is a vaccine to lessen his risk, parentheses. I know some parents are okay with that risk, end quote. So, Ben, you would be among that group there, buddy. Matthew, your response to this?
I mean, there are three main things that stand out to me in my reporting at the Free Beacon on this. One is the Biden administration is choosing to fight this. Everyone, I guess, outside of some, blue checks, is happy that they don't have to wear a mask on, international airplanes. Number two, Democrats have been violating this wantonly and with no consequences for almost a year at this point, right? I mean, we had an entire variant of coronavirus spread in the nation's capital by the Texas Democrats when they flew on a plane, super spreading coronavirus to the highest ranks of the American government. And three is the Transportation Secretary, Pete Buttigieg, told us several months ago, this is not about science, this is not about safety. He defended mask mandates on airplanes and public transportation as, quote, a matter of respect. It's not about safety, it's not about stopping the spread, it's simply about virtue signaling. So I think that's the context in this decision. And look, if people want to continue forcing their 1-year-olds and 3-year-olds to wear masks, I don't think there's any reason to. But now the rest of us can fly freely. We don't have to pretend that we're, eating peanuts for an 8-hour flight, across the globe or something like that. So
we've all done it.
The White House is continuing to fight reality here when they should be hailing this as a huge win for them. But their political instincts are awful on this, on the border, on immigration, really across the board. And so, yeah, that's where we're at.
I've held a pretzel in my mouth so many times for minutes and minutes just to, I'm still eating, so I have to put the mask back on.
I know, the people who complain too, do they get the snacks?
Yeah, exactly. Or you keep ordering cocktails. I mean, then you do that and you don't have to wear it too. That, do what you have to. Either way, that's over. Alex Clark, Matthew Foldi, Ben Weingarten, thank you so much for joining us. And you at home or watching on your devices, we'd actually love to hear